Hello and welcome to the FA Women's National League show, the weekly show where I look at everything that has been happening in the last 7 days in the third and fourth tiers of women's football in England and look ahead to what we can look forward to over the next 7 days. My name is Chris Gadsby. I'm here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. bringing you the very latest. And we're going to start this week, as we always do, with the news. And my apologies for missing this out last week, but we have the Manager of the Month awards for January. We're going to start then with Tier 3, which is the Northern and Southern Premier Division Manager of the Month. And for January, it goes to Ipswich Town women's boss Joe Sheehan. After an impressive 4-league game unbeaten run and progression to the 5th round of the Women's FA Cup. So Ipswich Town's women's manager Joe Sheehan gets the Tier 3 Manager of the Month award. In Tier 4, also after a 4-match unbeaten run and a consistent top of the table position, it's Andy Butler from Doncaster Rovers Bells who gets the Manager of the Month award for Tier 4. So Joe Sheehan in Tier 3 and Andy Butler in Tier 4 are the Managers of the Month for January. Right then, let's crack straight on into what was a very rain-interrupted weekend of women's football, let's put it that way. I think there was only one league out of the 6 we're going to look at that managed to play all their fixtures from this weekend. But we're going to start, as we always do, with the Northern Premier Division. Brighouse Town 2, Stoke City 3, AFC Fylde 2, Nottingham Forest 1, and Loughborough Lightning 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. All the other games were postponed. So we'll start with Brighouse Town against Stoke City. Goals for Brighouse Town coming to Leah Jade Embley and Lucy Sowerby. Goals for Stoke City, who were leading at half-time. Molly Holder, the only goal in that first half, on the 14-minute mark. Callum Barber on 56 minutes. And Rosine Kivellin on the 86th minute gave Stoke the third goal that got them over the line and gave them all 3 points. After that one, we'll go to Fylde against Nottingham Forest, where Fylde haven't announced who scored their goals, and there is nothing against Forest about who got their goal either. So no information on that one as of yet. And Loughborough Lightning 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. A late winner for Loughborough Lightning in this one. West Bromwich Albion's goal coming to Hannah George. Chloe Young in the 42nd minute getting the opening goal for Loughborough Lightning, but then substitute Emily Gunn in the 2nd minute of added time at the end of the second half gave Loughborough Lightning the 2-1 victory. What that means for the table is that Fylde go back to the top. Wolverhampton Wanderers and Derby County not playing, and they drop a place each as Fylde leapfrog them both. That was it in terms of the movement. Loughborough Lightning get themselves further away from the bottom 3 after their victory against West Bromwich Albion. Stoke also winning and pulling themselves now level with West Bromwich Albion after their 3-2 victory over Brighouse. Into the Southern Premier Division, we almost got everything finished here in the south, but as you can see there's one abandonment. Bridgewater United 0, Southampton 2, Cardiff City 3, Milton Keynes Dons 2, Chichester and Chelsea 3, Keynsham Town 1. Crawley Wasps against Ipswich Town was abandoned on 62 minutes. Ipswich Town were 2-0 up in that game, but that was called off and is now being played this weekend. We'll get to that in a minute. Gillingham 3, Plymouth Argyle 2, and London Bees 1, Oxford United 2. So Bridgewater against Southampton. Goals for Southampton coming to Sophia Farrow in stoppage time at the end of the first half, and Ella Pusey on the 65th minute. Cardiff City 3, Milton Keynes Dons 2. 2 goals for Kai Nolan in the 31st and 37th minute. With 2 goals for Cardiff. And there's a goal for Lucy Wood for Milton Keynes Dons. But even though the game was 3-2, according to the league in terms of the goals that have been put on the system, it was only 2-1. And there's nothing, no penalties, no own goals, no anything like that. So they're missing a goal aside on that game. Harriet Lamb being sent off for Cardiff 5 minutes before the end in that one as well. Chichester and Chelsea 3, Keynsham Town 1, 2-0 to Chichester and Chelsea at half time. Both goals coming to Natasha Wilde in the first half, 2nd minute and 26th minute. Megan Fox getting the third on the 78th minute for Chichester and Chelsea. No information about Keynsham Town. As I said, Crawley Wasps against Ipswich Town was abandoned with Ipswich Town 2-0 up. That was due to a waterlogged pitch. They are playing this weekend. It's a very reduced schedule because of County Cup action. So they've been able to get this game in again. So what be interesting to see, I know some teams have done it, some haven't in the past, is that with Ipswich Town were 2-0 up, will Crawley give them 2 goals at the start of that game or not? We'll just have to see what happens on that one. I think Forest did it once, the men's team against Leicester in a cup game. That was different circumstances because if I remember correctly, one of the Leicester players had a cardiac arrest at half time. I know Forest gave them the goal in the first minute because Leicester were winning at half time by a goal to 0. Forest gave it them back at the start of the replay. But we'll see what happens with Crawley Wasps and Ipswich. I think the times that it doesn't happen far outweigh the times that it does. Gillingham 3, Plymouth Argyle 2 then. Goals for Gillingham coming to Phoebe Leach and Amy Russ, but with no times on those goals. Bew Parker in the 39th minute also scoring for Gillingham. To Plymouth, Imogen Crawford in the 18th minute and Natasha Knapman in the 86th minute. But Plymouth lose by 3-2. And another victory for Oxford United. A goal in that one. Daisy McLaughlin in the 62nd minute, giving Oxford 1 goal. But again, London Bees haven't yet announced their lineup. And the second goal for Oxford has not been put on the system, so wonder if that was an own goal in that one, which is why it's not on, because London Bees isn't on either. It's difficult with it. We'll see, with so many people being volunteers and potentially not having the time, and it's got to get uploaded onto the website. It is difficult, but it is also very frustrating when we can't bring you all the up-to-date information because it's not there yet. Right, Southern Premier Division table. The only movements are Chichester and Chelsea jumping a couple of places after their victory over Keynsham Town. They go ahead of Milton Keynes Dons, who lost to Cardiff, and Plymouth, who lost to Gillingham. Cardiff now 7 points clear of the relegation zone, and don't forget they've been deducted 2 points. It's looking far happier for Cardiff now, who were worried that the 2 points might result in a relegation a couple of weeks ago when I last spoke to Cardiff. But they're now 7 points clear of the relegation zone. 26-game season in the Southern Premier Division, don't forget. Right, let's go through to the north. We had one midweek game, Bradford City against FC United of Manchester. Bradford City winning that one by 3-0. An early brace for Charlotte Stewart, 4th and 12th minute, backed up by Amy Lee Barringham-Beck in the 52nd minute to give Bradford all 3 points. Then we move into the weekend. Alnwick Town 1, FC United of Manchester 4, Durham Cestrin 0, Liverpool Feds 1, and Stockport County 2, Chester Street Town 1. We go to then Alnwick Town against FC United of Manchester. No lineup yet for Alnwick Town. Now, FC United of Manchester, a brace for Kirsty Chambers and 1 each for Olivia Smith and Anya Donnellan, giving FC United of Manchester a 4-1 victory. Durham Cestra against Liverpool Feds. An early goal for Liverpool Feds. Jennifer Rogers in just the 5th minute, scoring what would prove to be the only goal of the game. And Stockport County 2, Chester Street Town 1. A goal for Chester Street Town coming from Isla Maggs. And Stockport County haven't had their lineup announced yet. So can't bring you any information about their 2 scorers. Well, that means then for the table, Liverpool Feds go back top after their 1-0 victory because Newcastle United didn't play. Their game against Chorley was postponed. So they are now 2 points behind Liverpool Fed, and they've played the same number of games. Bradford City moved themselves out of the relegation zone after the victory in midweek, and obviously Chester Street Town losing at the weekend. But of course, Bradford City have got many games in hand over those teams around, and they've got 4 in hand over Stockport County and FC United of Manchester, and they've got 3 in hand over Chester Street Town, who are below them. It's a 22-game season in the in Division 1 North. So some of Bradford City, they're only halfway through their season. Alnwick Town haven't reached the halfway point of their season yet, which, given we're in mid-February now, is a little bit mad. Season must finish, is finishing towards the end of April and the first week of May. So you're talking 10 weeks' time to play 12 games. Of course, that's doable. That's completely normal. But then you consider that we started in the last week of August, early September. So we've played for 5.5, nearly 6 months, and they've only managed to get 10 league games in because of postponements and the weather and everything else that's been going on. So it's going to be a very busy, series of episodes as we go into the run-in at the end of this season. Let's go then to Division 1 Midlands. We had 3 games that survived the weather here. Boldmere St Michael's 3, Peterborough United 1, Leaford Athletic 3, Sporting Cowser 2, Long Eaton United 1, Wem Town 0. Boldmere St Michael's then beating Peterborough United by 3-1. Lois Jeffries with a brace, and Jessica Lundy with a goal as well, giving Boldmere St Michael's their 3 goals. Now, according to the FA Women's National League website, Boldmere St Michael's won 3-1. But 2 goals have been put on Peterborough United's sheet. Piper O'Neill in the 8th minute, and Peterborough United, and Jessica Driscoll in the 26th minute, providing the 2 goals apparently for Peterborough United. Okay, so Boldmere St Michael's, I've had a look. They did beat Peterborough by 3-1, but the scorers in the sheet for that game for Peterborough's side is wrong. There were not 2 goals. There was only the 1 goal scored by somebody in the on the FA Women's National League website that apparently didn't even play. So that's not great. Katie Lauder on 75 minutes got the goal for Peterborough United. So ignore the FAWNL website, the full-time website, because it was 3-1, but the lineup has been put in incorrectly for Peterborough. Let's move on to Leaford Athletic against Sporting Cowser. Leaford Athletic winning by 3-2. Katie Johnson in the 35th minute opening the scoring for Leafield, but it was 1-1 at half-time. Angelique Morley with the goal, 1 goal for Sporting Cowser. Into the second half, Sporting Cowser take the lead. Laura Smith, 10 minutes after the restart, put them 2-1 ahead. But Georgia Harris in the 71st minute and Chloe Shirley in the 82nd minute made it 3-2 to Leafield Athletic. 1 goal in the game between Long Eaton United and Wem Town, and that came to Anya May Cresswell. Long Eaton United getting the 3 points. Well, that means for the table, Boldmere St Michael's go to the top after their victory against Peterborough United. Doncaster Rovers Bells game was postponed. Excuse me. Leaford Athletic go above Solihull Moors after their victory over Sporting Cowser. So they're now 3 points clear of the relegation zone with games in hand over all those teams in it. Division 1 South East then. We've got a full set of fixtures. Wimbledon 2, Stevenage 0, Actonians 0, Enfield Town 0, Harlow Town 2, London Seaward 3, Hashtag United 5, Cambridge United 0, Norwich City 3, Kent Football United 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1, Cambridge City 1. AFC Wimbledon then beating Stevenage by 2-0, but they haven't got any information about their team up on the website yet. Actonians 0, Enfield Town 0, so no goals in that game. Harlow Town 2, London Seaward 3. No details about that game as of yet either. Hashtag United 5, Cambridge United 0. No details about Hashtag United yet. Norwich City 3, Kent Football United 0. No details about that game yet. And Queen's Park Rangers 1, Cambridge City 1. Goals in this one coming to... We've got Grace Stanley opening the scoring for Cambridge City. That was their only goal of the game. Sue Kumaning in the 93rd minute getting an equaliser for Queen's Park Rangers. What that means for the table then is that London Seaward, after their victory over Harlow Town, go up one place above Cambridge United. Norwich City, after their victory over Kent Football United, get themselves within goal difference of getting out of the bottom four, and they've got a game in hand over Enfield Town. So hopefully for Norwich City fans, they'll be able to get something from that game in hand, and they will be able to get out of the bottom four. Let's go to Division 1 South West then. This shouldn't take too long. All games postponed apart from Cheshire United against Poole Town. And Cheshire United haven't yet got the information on the website about their two scorers. So we'll go straight to the table where their 3 points lifts them into third above Southampton Women. But they have played 2 games more than Southampton Women, who are just 3 points behind them. Poole Town remain at the bottom of the table, minus 47 goal difference, and still just the 1 point so far this season. Right, let's have a look at fixtures coming up then this week. As I said, it's a shortened programme because of County Cup, but we're going to start with the FAWNL Cup quarter-final, because if you remember, that Brighouse Town against Huddersfield Town game that was postponed is being played tomorrow on Wednesday night. So then we will know who is going to go through to the semi-final. That semi-final, don't forget, is being played on the... it's completely escaped me at the moment. On the 6th of March, that's it. The 6th of March is when the semi and the semi-finals for the Cup and the Plate are going to be played. Brighouse Town or Huddersfield Town, of course, are going to come up against Liverpool Feds in the semi-finals because Southampton are facing Crawley Wasps in an all-Southern tie. Let's move through then into the league fixtures this weekend. We've got in the Northern Premier Division, Derby County against Loughborough Lightning, which is 3rd against 10th. Derby County can go back to the top of the table with a win because nobody else is playing. They're all in County Cup action. Nottingham Forest against Hull City, that's 5th against bottom of the table, 13th. Forest can move themselves into 4th and just that step closer to the top of the table as well. They have got a game in hand over Fylde, who beat them last weekend, so they could move to within potentially 4 points off the top if Derby failed to beat Loughborough, but 5 points of the top if Derby beat Loughborough Lightning. In the Southern Premier Division, we've got a couple of midweek games tomorrow. Hounslow against Oxford United. That's bottom of the table, Hounslow against second place Oxford United. Oxford United game in hand over Ipswich Town. This is that game in hand, and they can go to the top of the table with a victory over Hounslow, who have lost every single game so far this season. And Portsmouth against Crawley Wasps. That's 8th against 7th, so a mid-table clash in that one. At the weekend, Bridgewater United against London Bees. That's 6th against 5th in another mid-table clash. Chichester again and Chelsea against Gillingham. 11th versus 4th. Chichester and Chelsea could lift themselves out of the relegation zone with a win. Crawley Wasps against Ipswich Town is that game that was abandoned last weekend. They're now going to play it this weekend because neither of them have any other games on. Right, Division 1 Midlands, Bideford United against Wem Town and Leaford Athletic take on Burton Albion. Bideford United, bottom of the league, they're 8 points away from safety, but they're playing Wem Town, who are in 10th and are 2 points away from safety. This is a big fixture for those sides at the bottom. Leaford Athletic, who are in 8th, take on Burton Albion, who are in 11th. That's going to be a crucial one as well, because Burton Albion would have to be a really big win, but could get themselves realistically level on points with getting out of the relegation zone. Into the north, just again another 2 fixtures. Barnsley against Stockport County and FC United Manchester against Chorley. Barnsley are in 11th, Stockport County are in 6th. Barnsley, of course, being deducted points. They've been deducted 3 points, which is making all the difference to them really at the moment. So they could really do with a victory against Stockport to try and get themselves closer to being out of the relegation zone. FC United Manchester against Chorley is 8th against 6th, but just 1 point separates those two sides. Division 1 South East is where we've got a very busy schedule for the coming weeks. Stevenage against Harlow Town tonight. That's 12th against 11th. That's a relegation 6-pointer. AFC Wimbledon against Queen's Park Rangers tomorrow is 4th against 5th. Billericay Town against Kent Football United is 2nd against 13th. So you would fancy Billericay Town in that one. Cambridge United against Cambridge City in the City Derby. And London Seawood against Hashtag United is 6th against 1st. Hashtag United now 4 points clear of Billericay Town at the top. Billericay Town have a game in hand though, but they still need Hashtag United to drop some points from somewhere. Enfield Town against Kent Football United is 9th against 13th. This is at the weekend now. And Norwich City against Stevenage, that's 10th against 12th. Another relegation 6-pointer. Stevenage with a crucial week for them. They're coming up against the side in 11th and the side in 10th. 6 points would do Stevenage a world of good. But they do need to get points clear of the relegation zone because their minus 42 goal difference in comparison to minus 3 for Enfield Town at the moment is a almost insurmountable gap, you would say, at this point in the season. Queen's Park Rangers against London Seawood, that's 5th against 6th, a mid-table clash. And finally, into Division 1 South West, Larkhall Athletic against Exeter City is 9th against 7th, and Poole Town against Portishead is 10th against 6th. Portishead, of course, with that point deduction, but Poole Town yet to win this season. Larkhall Athletic are in 9th. They're 5 points clear of Poole Town against Exeter City, who have still only played 7 league games this season. It's only an 18-game season in Division 1 South West, so Poole Town have only got 6 games to go. One of them is going to be this weekend. And they're already 5 points away from safety, so time rapidly running out for Poole Town. It may be that in a few weeks we'll have the first relegation confirmed on our hands. It could well be that by this time next month, the middle of March, that is all done and dusted. But that is all of the fixtures coming up in the next week. So that's everything for this week's FA Women's National League show. Apologies that we didn't quite have the information in it that I was after, because there's a lot of information still to go on to the FA Women's National League website, but there's still plenty of football you need to get your teeth into in the coming week. So thank you very much for watching. As always, if you want to get involved in the show, if you want to leave any comments or suggestions, you can do it in the comment section down below or on Twitter. It's at Chris_Gadsby. Thank you very much for watching. Keep supporting your local women's football team, and goodbye.